Eeuwenlang was Frankrijk het domein van de koningen van de Bourbon-familie. Tegenwoordig is het land vooral een geliefd vakantieoord voor veel royals uit heel Europa. Ik neem jullie graag mee naar de Côte d'Azur, naar Chateau Saint Tropez, waar Charles en Camilla ons verwelkomen. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Your Royal Highness.
How do you do? Welcome.
Thank you. This is what you call home?
Yes, indeed. Saint Tropez home.
Chateau
Yes.
Saint Tropez.
Especially the summer, but yes, we share our lives between Italy, Monaco and Paris.
Het is wat verwarrend, want ook dit zijn dus prins Charles en prinses Camilla. De prins en prinses staan aan het hoofd van de Bourbon-Sicilië-tak. Als de geschiedenis anders was gelopen, zouden ze koning en koningin kunnen zijn van het Koninkrijk Sicilië, grofweg het zuidelijke deel van Italië. Hun dochters, prinses Maria Carolina en prinses Maria Chiara, reizen mee met hun ouders de wereld over. Een leven dat van jongs af aan in het teken staat van de toekomst en van de illustere familiegeschiedenis.
My branch anyway descend from the branch of Bourbon of France. So it's an old family, as you know, because it started with Hugues Capet. The Bourbon has reigned in France, in Spain, in southern Italy, in Parma, in Luxembourg. And at that time, the marriages were kind of geopolitic marriages. So we have been related, and we have many cousins throughout Europe, because of those marriages. So at the end, we are all calling each other or dear uncle or dear aunt or dear cousin, and that's it.
Yeah.
As Queen Victoria used to say, all the royal families is one big family. That's why she was actually called the grandmother of Europe.
But Your Royal Highness, how was it for you to become part of that royal family?
Well, when I met my husband, this is over 20 years ago now, I've had the big honor to become part of this family who has, of course, over 1,000 years of history, and I have to tell you that it's not always a trivial thing, of course, because you feel you have to be up to the standards that the great history that is behind this important family, and it's not always been very easy, but through the love of my husband, through the example of my parents-in-law, and the education I had, of course, received from my own family, I believe that slowly I have learned and I've tried my best to become an integral part of the family.
What is the biggest thing you've learned from your father-in-law?
He has taught me a lot of things, protocol-wise. He has taught me a lot of what the connections are between the families, who is who. Of course, I was new to this world. I come from a business world, and to know who is married to who, which family comes with which family, it's very complicated when you start off. It's not an easy thing.
Your family was there for you, but was it difficult to integrate in that royal world?
No, it was not difficult actually, because the royal world is made of families and of people that see each other quite often, and who have the same values. Everybody knows we have the same obligations or similar, often same values. Often children like to play together, so that's not what. No, it was easy. It was actually interesting. It was. I have felt immediately very cared about, and of course there are some families, royal families, which we get along better than others, which were closer than others. For example, the royal family of Belgium, the royal family of Denmark, and the royal family of Holland. Of course, the Queen Maxima. I mean, what to say about her? It's fantastic. I mean, I simply admire her enormously. I mean, that's really a queen who has given an example to all of us on how you can integrate yourself, on how you can be a great mother, a great wife, a great support for the king. And I cannot say how much I look up and I try to learn, because there are examples for my daughters, examples for me, to look up to them.
Maar er is één royal die echt een bijzondere plek heeft in het hart van Charles en Camilla. Het is prins Albert, die de twee ooit aan elkaar heeft voorgesteld.
It was a very happy marriage that we've done in Monte Carlo, because Prince Albert of Monaco was our witness, was my witness, marriage witness, and he was actually the person who introduced us many years ago, over 22 years ago, and it's really thanks to him that we met, and here we are now after 20 years.
You've got two gorgeous daughters, of course. There's something new also, because previously only male descendants are allowed to take over the throne. You changed the house law.
An important decision, but it's something that most of the family did already, and there are many examples of this. So I really felt that it was the right time to do that.
Today, women and men, I really believe we have come to a moment in life, in time, that they are equal. So there was really no reason for our daughters not to take over the obligations and the duties that will be one day her duties, of course.
Does she really have a choice of her future?
I don't think it's an easy job. I really don't, and I don't think it's something that you choose. I actually believe you should take this adventure of life as a huge honor, that it's given to you to come from a family that has such an important background in the history of Europe. And I believe that my daughter has, since a very young age, been brought up with that kind of education, that her life does not somehow really only belong to her, because she also represents an important historical, I call it with her luggage in simple terms, but an important historical aspect of things.
Anyway, it doesn't mean that she has to do a nice study, first of all.
Yes.
Then for a career, you know, if she has a career, a different career, well, it's something plus. She'll have to take care of this historical side anyway.
Your children, your eldest daughter wants to become a movie star.
Well, you shouldn't be laughing. Yes, indeed. Well, she should be doing what she wants to do one day, because every person has the right to do what they feel. What is important is that whatever field you choose, you do it as best. Hard work, honesty, family life, loyalty, and also to be open to helping others who are in need. And all of those values should give her enough strength to be, yes, Carolina, or my other daughter Chiara, yes, but also to represent, hopefully, the family as best as she will be able to. I think that the idea is to start very early, so that everything looks very, very normal, and you give the best of yourself after. It's a strategy.
You're saying that we need to have a normal life to do normal things.
Yes. But they have a very normal life. Yes, they don't go to school, and a lot of people say, why don't they go to school? Well, actually, it's not really been a choice. It's been more something that is part of our life, and it's completely, for us, it was something that we started off because we travel so much, and the only way to really be with them was to bring them along with tutors. And sometimes we couldn't, we thought we were leaving for a week, and we had to postpone the return because new things had developed, professional obligations as well, because we also are in the business world through a high-tech satellite software company. So we also have a professional life, a professional aspect of our life, which we rarely talk about, but there is. And so we really have brought our daughters with us, and they have seen part of life that they would have never seen if they had gone to maybe a regular school. So there are some advantages. I always tell them, you must appreciate what you have. You must appreciate you have food, that you have parents who are together, that you have a little sister to play with. I mean, that you have friends, that you have houses, homes. And no, nothing is taken for granted in our house, nothing. It's true. It's true. Even love is not taken for granted, because it's important.
Charles kan terugkijken op een koninklijke familiegeschiedenis en leidt een koninklijk bestaan, maar zonder koninkrijk, zonder troon. Wat houdt het dan in om prins te zijn en hertog van Castro? En is dat dan een fulltime baan?
myself, but my wife and also now the children. We're going a lot in different places and even out of Italy, of course. Plus the Constantinian Order of St. George, which is an order of knighthood that my family has. And we have different delegation in Italy, but in Europe and United States and South America. So they all want you to be when they organize something. So yes, it's not full-time job, but it takes you a lot of time.
As the head of the royal family, my husband really has a role of enormous representation. I think it's some kind of a duty. It's something that you owe to a lot of people who in Italy, and not only in Italy, still have a memory of the big kingdom of the two Sicilies, and still embodies the cultural aspect of it all. So it is something where you have that weight on your shoulders. You know you have that responsibility, and you have to go. You have to go and travel. You have to be there. You have to always hear if there are problems, if you want to help to people that in different parts of the world are asking to be supported by the Constantinian Order of St. George. It is a duty of, I think, today, families who, yes, do not reign anymore, but royalty, it's not about only being on a throne, it's also about being there, close to the people. And in our case especially, I think that we owe a lot to history, to our name, and somehow we have to have a transmission of that, not only on our daughters as young generations, but to be present on the cultural side of it all.
But what does it mean? What does the area mean for you?
Well, the title of Castro is a title that the last king of two Sicilies used also because of the Farnese connection. It's close to Rome, and but Calabria and Noto, which is in Sicily, are always been, since many centuries, the titles that the heir and the son of the heir used.
And the beautiful places, fantastic places, and I think that the inhabitants of Sicily are very happy that we use these titles, and it's part of the historical memory and historical identity for a lot of people still in Italy, especially in the south of Italy, and not only.
And the attachment that my family also had with the people from southern Italy and vice versa is very strong. Very strong.
It's an attachment that I think is like what we say visceral. It's like in the blood. I mean, when we arrive there, we really feel loved, admired, and of course we have to be close to them. But this love that they give us, it's really, I think, because they feel that we love them. So it's a union between the south of Italy and the family, really.
What was the first time you really realized that attachment?
I was going to Italy since I was a young boy, with my grandfather, then with my parents, and we did many trips in Naples, in Calabria, in Sicily, and sometimes I remember a small anecdote, which we were in Gaeta. Because Gaeta is an important city for us. It's the last city but where King Francis II and his wife, Maria Sophia of Bavaria, defended for 3.5 months in a way which is extraordinary, because they lost everything but not their dignity. And I was in Gaeta my parents were in Gaeta and was with them, and they had to inaugurate a square and a street on the name of Queen Maria Sophia and King Francesco II. And so I was told like this, and I remember they asked me to, take over yes. And many. I have many friends also since I was boy, and we grew up a little bit together.
We go a lot to the south of Italy. We have lots of projects there. We have a lot of schools that we help, that we support, hospitals that we equip. So there is really a presence on our side who is getting more and more as time goes on, but it's really a presence which we care about. First the south of Italy and the rest of the world after. That's the way we see it.
Het koninkrijk mag er dan niet meer zijn. Charles en Camilla bekommeren zich met trots en onverminderd om hun gebied en de inwoners ervan. En dat doen ze met goede hoop. De hoop dat ook hun dochter Carolina en vervolgens nog vele generaties de Bourbon-wortels zullen verdedigen en dat het koninkrijk der beide Siciliën in vele harten zal blijven bestaan.